watching Fox self-destruct over Labor Day weekend is something that I'm kind of enjoying. So I want to share it with you. Like when Fox brought on Corey Lewandowski, who's now running Trump's campaign again. He was the one who had the inappropriate sexual touching of at least one woman and then rejoined the Trump campaign. Anyway, Lewandowski goes on Fox, gets so angry when he's trying to justify why during the debate, the candidates, Vice President Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, need to be muted while the other individual is speaking. He's like, that's the rules. He just doesn't want Donald Trump to be talking that much. Here, play this clip.
You're going to get a chance to vet that. The president will on this September 10th debate. There's been a lot of back and forth about whether or not the rules are settled. Let's talk about this. The vice president posted on X this. Donald Trump is surrendering to his advisors who won't allow him to debate with a live microphone. If his own team doesn't have confidence in him, the American people definitely can't. We are running for president of the United States. Let's debate in a transparent way with the microphones on the whole time. Has the microphone thing been settled? Will it be settled? Is everybody showing up on September 10th?
We'll be there. I can't speak if Kamala Harris is going to be there, but we'll be there. And remember this, Shannon, when we originally set the parameters of the debates for, at the time, President Biden, Kamala Harris's team was also part of that because we set the same parameters for the vice presidential debate. And what those parameters were you would stand at a podium or a lectern, you would have no notes available to you, and the microphones would be off. Well, after she has been coronated to be the presidential nominee for the Democrats, what she's done is come back and said, I don't like that criteria anymore. I want to be seated so I can be the same height as Donald Trump.
Okay,
I'd like to bring notes to the table.
That.
Oh, and by the way, well, I understand, but we've been part of the negotiation back and forth for many, many days here, and I don't know why, once again, Kamala Harris and her team are changing what their positions have been, just like she's done on the border, just like she's done on no tax on tips. She's now trying to change the rules of the debate. We've agreed to the rules of the debate. We are looking forward to being there on September 10th. The microphones will be off. People will be standing at a lectern, and there'll be no notes.
Okay.
So good. Then Fox calls on South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem to have a spirited discussion about Western Minnesota seceding and becoming part of South Dakota. Oh, you're really owning Governor Walz with that one. Meanwhile, like Governor Walz is like the most popular politician in America right now, but in the Fox echo chamber, they think that J.D. Vance, who's like universally loathed and hated, other than like a small group of MAGAs who run around with like a jar of like fake J.D. sperm in their hand. It's just so utterly weird. Oh, Corey Lewandowski still goes on Fox News Sunday, and then he does this thing where he like lies about women's reproductive rights, and he's like, women are killing babies at the 9 months. They're just killing babies in general. They're just, once the baby's born, they execute him. It's like, no, they don't. Can we stop having these horrifically misogynistic conversations? It's just all lies. Play this clip.
Leadership has been so bad. You have the western portion of Minnesota that's asking to actually cede from Minnesota and join your state of South Dakota. Are you going to accept them if that potentially happens? Going to take part of Minnesota,
Sure.
Kristi?
Yeah, we'll take anybody that wants to be more free. But it's amazing if you look at the map of Minnesota, how little support he does have. The support he does have is in his bigger cities, but the vast majority of the landmass of Minnesota does not like his leadership, has left his leadership. We've had tens of thousands of people that have come from Minnesota and come to South Dakota because they find that he doesn't share their values, and he's crippled them and their economy, and they just can't stand it anymore and want to find somewhere else where they can raise their families and pursue the American dream.
Well, I'm on the eastern border in Wisconsin, and I have the same thing. We have people leaving Minnesota and coming to Wisconsin. They want more freedom, and we love their money, but it's crowding our rural areas. I want to quickly.
That's the line that they go. They go, what's happening in all of these liberal states is that they're executing babies. They are not. Stop lying about that. Stop treating Americans, and particularly women, like that. It's stupid. That's not what's happening. And stop making the most difficult situations for women in their lives, where their lives could be on the line, where their baby or fetus may already be dead. Stop turning that into political talking points. We need to trust women, trust women and their doctors making decisions. It is a woman's choice, not you, Corey Lewandowski, not Donald Trump, who is Epstein's best friend, not Ted Cruz. Stop it. Then Donald Trump does a Mark Levin interview where literally, like, Mark Levin's like, you know, you're the most religious person that I know. You're great. You're so smart and you're religious and you love God. I never know anyone who loves God as much as you. Like, just listen to this, Craig. This is some North Korea strange stuff that just shouldn't exist in the United States. Like, I don't even know, what is this? Play this clip.
You've been a man of faith. You go to church. You believe in God. Has this further your belief, your commitment? And obviously, God, in addition to that chart, saved your life. He has a purpose for you. Do you think about these things?
Well, I think you believe more because when you speak to experts, like my sons who are shooting experts, but when you speak to experts, they said there was no chance that he could have missed from that distance. I think he was hurried. I think he was rushed because people were starting to say, like, you know, there's a guy up there with a gun.
And you see Donald Trump like, oh, yeah, as Mark Levin goes on and on about that. Then they go into their, like, they bring on, like, their conspiracy theorists. And I want to give a hat tip to Decoding Fox. They do a good job decoding all of this and breaking it down. So you have this Fox host I'm about to show you who's a former MTV VJ. And so she goes on and she argues, you see, the Democrats want this bill. And this bill is meant to protect kids from potentially dangerous chemicals in junk food. But she's like, it's going to lead to eugenics. It's going to lead to eugenics. And then we can't have any regulations in healthcare, so doctors and hospitals should have no rules or regulations, and this is all a liberal plan at eugenics. It's like, what are you even talking about? All they're trying to do is just scare people with big words or not so big words. Hat tip to Decoding Fox News for putting this on. Play it.
As an adult to go have a big soda.
But that's where this stuff goes. You know, the more government involvement there is in our health care and health insurance, the more they're going to have a say in what we put in our own bodies. And there is no more intimate a relationship than the one you have with yourself and what you ingest. And, you know, it starts with kids. And a lot of these bans are really condescending because they want to make sure they control the food that goes into the lowest income schools, which in places like Los Angeles and New York are fully subsidized. So what they're saying is, oh, you're poor. You can't make good decisions for yourself. The government will make those decisions for you, and then we'll have better outcomes. Well, what's next? It starts with red dye number 5, and then does it go to your genes? Because what could some of the other causes of ADHD be? So maybe if you're going to procreate, and if you're going to have some, you know, government subsidized fertility treatments, maybe the government should test your genes to make sure that you are not passing anything on that could at some point be a big problem for the government if they have to take care of you long term. So if you have ADHD or schizophrenia or gout or diabetes in your family tree, well, maybe those branches need to be snipped and you shouldn't be having kids, because it starts with stuff that's pretty innocuous, but it gets very condescending and controlling very, very quickly.
And then they've got MAGA Republican Congressman Byron Donalds, who just goes on and he goes, she's a machine Democrat. She's a machine and she's not confident in herself. She's such a machine. It's like, again, this is all they blast at their viewers 24/7, this type of crap. Here, play this clip.
Judge, what we are witnessing is what happens when you have a machine candidate, somebody that is picked by the Democratic machine. Every aspect of that machine wants to have their hands in this campaign. And to Miranda's point, it doesn't look like she has the confidence within herself or the ability to take charge and lead this campaign. If she can't do that, how's she going to lead the United States of America? Contrast that with Donald J. Trump. Judge, I can assure you, he's in charge of that campaign. Everybody has their job, but the buck stops with him. He makes the decisions and they move forward. But that's why we were so successful as a country, because he is take charge. He is a leader. This interview already is demonstrating that she is not. I mean, Dana Bash might be 5 feet tall, and she looked bigger than Kamala Harris tonight.
And Decoding Fox News does a really good job here, too, where they explain how Fox News tends to recycle guests, like this guest, Greg Piazza, a retired police officer who told his story about unretiring because of the Biden economy, he says. And he does this on 2 different shows this week. He also told the story back in May. And so Fox brings on the same guest, who's basically, you know, like a plant, you know, in my opinion, that's what I would call it. And then he like goes on show to show to show every few months, and then tells like the same story and just tries to appear like, hey, I'm just this average guy and this is what happened. And this is how they go on and they do this propaganda. The Decoding Fox does a great job calling it out. Play this clip.
Destroyed the American dream so badly that people are coming out of retirement just to make ends meet.
The grocery bills are outrageous. So in the wages, when I want to scream when I hear Biden talk and Harris talk about how wages have kept up. No, they have not.
Piazza, a retired police officer who now works as a full-time groundskeeper. Greg, you retired. You wanted to work here and there. You said you wanted some beer money, but now you have to have money for all kinds of groceries. And your wife, too, a retired teacher, had to unretire. Is that right?
Yes, thanks for having me. Sure. I'm going to be 59 tomorrow, by the way. I've been working since I was 16 years old.
Happy almost birthday.
Well, thank you. I've been working since I've been 16 years old, and I don't mind working. And trust me, I want to say this. I'm not looking for sympathy. My family's not looking for sympathy. I'm not looking for a handout. What these people want to do, when I say these people, I mean Biden and Harris and the liberals and the socialists, they want us peasants to be dependent upon government. I don't want their handouts. I don't want their sympathy or empathy. I want them to get the hell out of the way and let the private sector take over like it was under Donald Trump, and let the capitalist economy work the way it should. I don't want to be.
And Greg, you moved to Florida. You're 58 years old, retired police officer. Thank you for your service. Your wife retired as a school teacher. And you say the pensions aren't enough and you had to go back to work. What are you doing now?
Well, I work full time as a groundskeeper in an apartment home community. But, you know, I want to say my pension, law enforcement, is a very good pension. I feel very blessed and I appreciate that very much. But it just goes to show you that even us, so-called retired folks, it's just not enough under today's current economy.
And I'll show you this final clip of Trump's interview with Fox right here with Mark Levin. I mean, Fox had to settle a case for nearly $1 billion for defaming Dominion voting systems. And we read all of the text messages where all the Fox hosts call their viewers stupid, call their viewers idiots. They knew that they were lying for Trump. And here they are just platforming Trump again with Mark Levin as Donald Trump is basically boasting about interfering with presidential elections. Here, play this clip.
Whoever heard you get indicted for interfering with a presidential election where you have every right to do it? You get indicted and your poll numbers go up. When people get indicted, your poll numbers go down.
Very strange stuff, folks, but judge for yourself. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
Real quick, Meta just changed their algorithm to suppress political content. Please follow our Instagram @MeidasTouch right now as we head towards 400,000 followers so you don't miss a beat.